Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. I am Nikki Incandela, if you don't know me already, and I do brand development and authentic brand strategy as well as brand marketing. And I have been known to teach my clients a lot of things outside of branding, like sales and social media, messaging and copy, as well as pricing and packages. I've helped my clients create their freebie lead generation tools in all different ways. So, what makes me unique and separates me is that I really focus on helping my clients create a foundational brand that everything they do stems off of. So it gives you a guideline as to what to follow, reminds you of what your core values are, where your planning is, so that when you have a bunch of opportunities attracted to you, you know which ones to say yes to. Because the good thing is we always have opportunities coming our way, especially if we remain open and positive and expecting things to happen for us. They will always come. So it's hard to know sometimes what to say yes to, what to say no to. And a lot of clients that come to me that hadn't built a brand and had been running a business are frustrated because they never built a brand, and they all of a sudden started saying yes to all of these opportunities that came their way. And what happens is you lose yourself in that, because all of a sudden you'll be working with clients that you said yes to. Um, and they're not ideal. So all of a sudden, you don't know what direction you're going in. Your business looks different than what you had ever thought or planned when you started your business. And you're just going in a wonky direction and nothing feels succinct. So that's what happens to my clients who come to me who never built a brand, or who aren't relating to the brand anymore. So we do hit points in elevating our next levels where we do need to refresh our brand. So I just want to thank everyone who is on live and thank all the rest of you who are watching the recording. Um, I just want to give you a little bit of an overview to really express and explain to you um, how to think of a brand and your brand, obviously, specifically. So I'm just going to do a screen share in the beginning here. And then, sorry, uh, let me just figure this out, and I can share this and introduce you to a little bit more around branding before I dive into really workshopping all the content and value that I have for you guys. Um, okay, one second. Okay, great. So I have just a few quick slides to review with you guys so I can show you and give you examples of what it is that I'm trying to explain. So, a brand is your personality. It's your identity in your business and in your life and in the world. So, what a lot of people mistakenly do is they build a professional brand, which is tied to a business. Well, when something happens with that business, either you want to elevate or realign or change focus and pivot, or you hand it down to your kids, or you sell the business, all of a sudden your identity goes away because you attached it to the business. So what I do with my clients is help them build a personal brand so that their business is just a piece of that brand. It's just a pillar, which I'll go over when I get into the content. But essentially, um, there is a big difference between a good brand and a brand that represents you. So, an example that I love to give because she's such an iconic figure is Martha Stewart. So, Martha Stewart has an impeccable brand. Like, you know exactly who she is. She shows up in every walk of life except when she got arrested. Um, she shows up in every walk of life as the same person that we expect from her. So that's a personal brand. So anything she does business wise is just an extension of what we expect from her, right? So whether she's baking or sending recipes or home design or home goods, whatever it is that she's doing, we know what to expect from her. And that's because she built this impeccable personal brand. One of the things that I love about what she did, which I coach some of my clients to do, is we can also shake things up and do collaborations with unexpected um, other people or industries, or align ourselves differently at some point, just to bring an unexpected flair into your brand and shake things up. So when Martha Stewart did this, she brought Snoop Dogg onto her show and they baked brownies together, which is hilarious because Snoop Dogg is known for his cannabis and intake, and cannabis brownies being a thing. So all of a sudden, she brought in a collaboration with someone totally opposite from her, who also has fame and fortune, and it just shook up her brand and put her back on the map. Well, she just did it again recently when she modeled for Sports Illustrated and became one of the oldest women to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. So that's something that none of us expected from her, but the way she showed up is exactly how we expect her to be. So she did something in her brand that was unexpected, and it put her back on the map. So that's a beautiful example of how to kind of shake up your brand, how to establish a brand, and how to shake up your brand too. Um, this is one of my clients, and I love this testimonial that she gave because it really exemplifies what most of my clients say that we do for them when we work together, which is, I had no idea how transformational a photo shoot could be for me. People say the same thing when they don't hire me for photos and just hire me to help them build their brand. Um, I had no idea how I would change as a person out of that day together. And what she really means by that is, what I help my clients do is expose the true potential that they have within them. Without that armor, that shell that we put on, it's just we expose the highest, best self of who we are as a soul. And that is what I capture when I'm doing photography. And that is what I'm really exposing within you when we build out your brand. So that's why everything converts so well when you build a brand that is a foundation of who you are, because it's not only really easy and fun to market yourself and get your brand message out there because it's coming from something that's innately in you, um, but it helps you in all other ways of messaging, content, sales, creating packages, everything that we're going to kind of review tonight. Um, but here's what I love the most about building a brand that's really truly authentic and beautiful about who you are, and like really exemplifies clarity around your brilliance and who you want to be in the world. Is she said, I now know that anytime I doubt myself or feel lost or alone or small, that the pictures serve to remind her of who she truly is. And that's really what I help people do with their brand building too. Just, you look at your brand and you're like, that's right. I was feeling a little like unconfident, not confident, sorry. and and all of a sudden, I was reminded by looking at my brand, by looking at my photos, of who I am, how I'm here to serve, and what I really am up to in the world, and how I'm moving through this and forward. Um, why why listen to me? Well, I do public speaking. I have spoke with and photographed not just celebrities in the coaching industry, but celebrities, all-time celebrities. I like to joke and say I opened for Damon John at one point because I just happened to speak on stage before him. Thank God it wasn't after him. He was amazing. Um, and Ty Lopez, Michael Beckwith. I photographed the Dalai Lama, the Prince of Monaco, Charles Lindbergh's grandson. I have been on a lot of red carpets, and what I love the most is really working with my entrepreneurs that get a transformation around how they get to create a brand and who they get to show up as. I'll give you an example of I use myself always. I walk my talk. I had built a brand in 2 weeks. It was a celebrity based and driven brand. And it was a t shirt line all about the fact that our sexiest self is our inner confidence, that true connection to self that we feel. So I created a website, a blog site. I got samples, everything designed. I designed a logo. I built out the entire brand, took myself to Sundance Film Festival to launch it. And it was a celebrity brand, and was able to get photos. I handed samples out to the Pussycat Dolls and all of these celebrities, was able to get photos and build my celebrity brand focus there. But the coolest thing that happened all weekend was I was at a party one night, and this girl came up to me. I was wearing the t-shirt, and she said, "Where did you get that t-shirt?" And I said, "It's my brand. Do you like it?" And she said, "Not only do I love it, but my mom was here on day one and gave me 5 brands that I needed to pay attention to by the time I got here to Sundance Film Festival, and yours was one of them." That was the coolest, like, reminder and confirmation of how I help my clients, including myself, build out a brand that really lands and everything is aligned with it. Um, Speaking is a huge way that I market myself and get my brand out there. That's something that all of us can do, even if it's doing reels on TikTok and Instagram about our brilliant space or about, different things we love about our personality and showcasing that. But speaking is a huge way, podcasts, radio, even the smallest level will give you edification and build your brand as a top-notch standout in your industry. So that's always an option for you too. Here's an example of a client that I helped build a brand. This is my girlfriend Cindy. She's a love coach, and she wanted to create a brand based off of The Millionaire Matchmaker. This was years ago, and these were the photos she was using. And I said, "No, no, no. We need to redo your entire brand so that it actually looks like and edifies you on the same level as Millionaire Matchmaker." So this was the brand that we created for her. These are obviously just her photos, but the reason why I want to show you this is her testimonial of how powerful her photos were the reason for her bringing money in right away. And clients had never questioned her authenticity or her expertise because she had been a dating coach for many, many years. She was very good at what she did, but she worked for a corporation. So when she started on her own, she didn't have any qualifications as an entrepreneur. She didn't have clients yet on her own. So she used everything from her corporate experience, but her brand that we built for her helped edify her in a beautiful way. This is another client of mine. And this, when I met her, I was confused because she had shown me this photo that she really loved of herself. But this was not the woman that I met. This was actually the woman that I met. So sometimes we don't even know how we're showing up. And we just see an essence within us that you may like, but the rest of us don't see. So the rest of us saw this beautiful, graceful, completely spontaneous, quirky, amazing, empowering woman. And, you know, she thought that this was a good photo of her. But who would you hire if you were looking to be empowered by a coach? Definitely not the before picture. So then how does that translate into a full brand? This is showcasing your personality behind the scenes, how you work, what you like to do, fun, quirky things, right? Like jump into a water fountain. Luckily, we didn't get kicked out of the park, and splash around, have a glass of wine, laugh, behind the scenes working on her laptop. These are all ways that you can actually like portray your brand, and your photos are one of the most important aspects of your brand that will bring clients in right away. Here's another brand. So this is my one of my favorite clients, Clarence, and he loved chess, he loved golf, and so we actually built his whole brand around his interests. He also loved working with inner city children. So we brought in I actually hired kids, kid models to come in for his photo shoot so that we could really expand on his interests and his core values, and he could express those in his brand and in a beautiful way. So that was a really fun shoot. Same with my client and girlfriend, Alicia. It's like, how does your personality and your identity really show up in your brand and identify you? Same with my girlfriend and client Melissa. We get to share and showcase all different sides of you, your celebration, behind the scenes, your power look, your beautiful, graceful, feminine look on the beach, how you work. She's in health and nutrition, right? Your fun side with the balloons, your podcasting. This gives you so much ammunition to really go wild with showcasing your brand, and then attaching messaging to all of that is the beautiful formula that we create for my clients. Um, these are photos of myself. So I don't want to just show you brand photos of like beautiful brand photos I've taken of my clients. All of these photos on the screen right now were taken from a camera phone. So there are ways that you can capture your own brand photos to showcase your personality, your identity, your way of being, different things that you love about your life. Your pillars that I'll talk about, your brand pillars are the most important thing of your brand. And that will help you align and know what to post, what to share, what to be consistent with. But my dog is one of my pillars. Like I talk about him all the time. He's actually part of my brand because he's part of my heart focus. So, having fun, showing up with balloons for my clients on their birthday when I get to photograph. I've got to photograph so many clients on their birthday. It's been so fun. Um, Adventurous travel. I was in Spain in the photo on the top right. And I love culture. I love learning. And that's where I was in the bottom right. So a lot of my clients that I work with, I also teach them how to build their own brand photos. One of the things I want to touch on before I get into the valuable content that I'm going to help you workshop is I have a new program that I'm launching, and I just wanted to give you a sneak peek, and I'll get into this more at the end of the presentation. But if you have to go, I want you to know that I have this ridiculous offering that I'm launching soon. If you wanted to be a part of it, if you need personalized help from me to build out your brand. So this package, I'll go through this very quickly and touch on it more at the end, but this package is going to include, it's a group program. It's going to include, though, a custom one-on-one intake session so that I can get in touch with who you are, where your brand needs to go, where you're at right now, so that in the group calls, I can give you individualized attention. I am going to help you identify and build out your full brand personality. That's your identity, your interests, your pillars, your brand messaging and content creation. I'm going to teach you how to use testimonials and feedback from clients in your messaging to edify you. I'm going to teach you on your specific brand marketing blueprint. I'm going to customize a shot list for your specific business. This is a small group. I'm not taking more than 10. And so that way I can give individualized attention to everyone. I'm going to individually personal brand style each and every person. So this alone is a $3,000 value, but I'm throwing it in. I'm giving the fundamentals of what you need now versus where you're going to be building. And then I'm also doing, if we're in person anywhere, free headshot session is included, or $500 off a half VIP shoot or $1,000 off of a full VIP shoot. Plus, I'm going to review pricing, packages, promos that you can offer, free lead generation tools, sales and objection based sales, and so much more. So, this is way worth over $11,000. And I'm going to be pulling people into this program for a ridiculous amount of $700 a month. This is a 3-month program, it's just a quarterly program. You can stay on after, and I will renew, but this is just a 3-month commitment, $700 a month or $1,700 pay in full, and you save $400. So I just wanted to spearhead that before I get into the content so that you can see what's possible if you want to really get that personalized hands-on help. This is a ridiculous offer. I was going to offer it for $1,500 a month, and I decided at the last minute to add more stuff and knock it down. Because I just intuitively felt to do that. So let me get into the content. Let's get started with the direction of really building out your brand. So make sure you have something to take notes with. And the first thing I want to talk about is your brand pillars. So this is super, super important. Your pillars, you should develop 4 to 5 pillars in your brand. And what these are they're the most important topics and content that is close to your heart in your brilliant space for you to share. So obviously one of your pillars should be your business. That's pretty obvious, hopefully. But the way to do this is to just brain dump. So this is what I have my clients do. So if you take a piece of paper and you write down pillars of interest, write down an entire list and brain dump all of your interests, all of your core values, everything that you love, whether it has to do with your business or not, everything personal, professional, just make an entire list and brain dump everything on that list. And then what you're going to do, and this is what I do with my clients, you're going to go back and review that entire list, and you're going to pick the top 4 to 5 pieces of content that are going to become your pillars. For example, one of my pillars is my branding and brand marketing photography business, right? So I talk a lot and I give a lot of value around brand marketing and photography. Number 2 is my dog. I talk about my dog all the time. He's my fur baby. I do have clients who have children that, for safety reasons, do not want to include their children as one of their brand pillars. So I just want to say that up front, like whatever you feel comfortable with and your family is comfortable with, go that route. So the 4 or 5 that you decide on may not be your top ones. If it's, for example, like my client, her children, she doesn't want to expose them on social media. That's fine. And another one of my brand pillars is my love for adventure and travel. So I'm just all over the place all the time. I just love living out of a suitcase. I love being spontaneous. That is a huge piece of my brand. And so that's what I post about a lot. This is what I talk about a lot. Hey, I'm coming here. Hey, I'm going there. Hey, I'm here. You'll see that a lot on my social media, as well as my newsletter, email, different places that I am. I also have a celebrity aspect to my brand, which is one of my pillars too. I've been very lucky to be in the celebrity space quite a bit. I do have some high profile clients that I can't talk about or share. But that's been really cool too. Clients who've like flown me in on their private jets. It's been really crazy and beautiful and super fun. But adventure and travel is one of my core values. And so it's one of my pillars. So just wanted to give you an example of different pillars that you should decide on, but 4 to 5 is best. What you're going to do with these pillars is everything is going to stem off of them, all of your content, all of your messaging. And So you can even strategize around it. Let's say you're going to post on social media on Mondays is pillar one, conversation and content. Tuesdays is pillar two, conversation and content. So you can even break it out like that, or you can have a random mix. But as long as everything that you talk about is under one of those pillars, you can stay consistent and also use them as SEO. So depending on how many times you mention them, if you have a blog going or something, that's really important for SEO. So everything will go under those pillars. So that's what you become known for. It could honestly be as simple as macaroni and cheese. I know one of my previous mentors loved macaroni and cheese. She talked about it all the time, everywhere she went. And when her brand was evolving, and her pillars were changing because she was trying to have a baby. Well, trying to have a baby and that whole journey took over the macaroni and cheese conversation. But to this day, she still has people reaching out to her, telling her where to go, where they have the best mac and cheese. So this becomes a relatable factor that people get to talk to you about. That is why it's so important piece. It's a very important piece of your brand and the foundation of your brand. So it gives you guidelines to stay within and always allows you to know what to talk about, what content to share, how to really allow people to get to know you so that they can know, like, and trust you. And that's who people buy from. Number two, the framework of how you want to work. So this is mostly intention based, but this is really important to do too. And it's a big part of our brand. Do you not want to work the weekends and why? And this may adjust if you're in a huge hustle mode, you might be working around the clock. And hopefully those are just short spurts and time periods. But ideally, what do you want? How do you want to work? How many days do you want to work? How many times a day do you want to respond and post on social media? What days of the week do you want to leave open for client calls or sales calls? List out all the activities that you have to do and that you want to do for your profession and personal life. And then also list out what times of year you just are dying to take vacations. Like, what feels best to you? Write all of that out. And that becomes a really important aspect of your brand and your time management and scheduling. And that's something also that people get to know about you, especially your clients when you start working with them. I only have office hours. Oh, she definitely does not go beyond her boundaries and respond if she's not in office hours. You start to train people how to get in touch with you and where to get in touch with you. So it becomes a very important aspect of your brand. And consistency isn't something that I am really brilliant at. I am constantly striving, but I am a little more right brain than a lot of people who do major in business and marketing. So it is a stretch for me that I'm constantly working on, but consistency really is key. And by allowing people to kind of get to know where you're at and when, um, allows them to have some sort of like safety around you're consistently showing up. Number three, um, who do you want to work with? So, making a list and writing out the characteristics, and it could be as specific or as general, but this is also just a brain dump on a piece of paper. So, I help my clients create an entire list of who they love working with. If you don't have clients yet in your business, then think of a business transaction that you were in with someone and that you really enjoyed and it was easy and it flowed and it was beautiful and fun. Um, what characteristics did that person have? Were they driven? Were they easygoing? Where did they work? Where did they live? What area of the country are they from? What demographics do they have? Are they men? Are they women? What age range? Really make a list and really get clear on the characteristics of the people that you want to attract in, because this becomes a very important part of your brand too. Um, Okay, number 4, I have a lot of information to share, so I'm just kind of flying through. If you need to pause and do each section, please do that if you're watching the recording. Um, Number 4, what do you want to offer? So, what's in your brilliant space? What feels good to you? How do you like to work? Like, this is a little bit different because this is more specific to products or services as opposed to number 3 where it was who you want to work with. So um, what do you want to offer? Where's your expertise? Write down and list out everything that you're good at and that you want to offer. And what I typically do with my clients is we create this list into short term and long term. So, what is most feasible immediately? And then where are we moving into? So, this also helps me guide my clients through photo shoots too and a shot list because I always build out a personal brand for my clients based off of where they're going so that they have ammunition that's not going to expire and will take them to where they're going. So, what do you want to offer? List all of those pieces out. Number 5, what is your specialty? What is your unfair advantage? Um, and if you aren't sure, you can this comes with awareness, right? So if you're not sure, you can pay attention to family and friends. You can ask family and friends that you trust. What's different about me? Like what's really unique about me that you get to witness? What is it that makes me different? I'm sure if you just sit and meditate on it and think back to how many compliments you've gotten from people, you're really good at, you really do this differently, you really seem to have a knack for, and make a list once again of all of those aspects that really give you that unfair advantage. The reason why this is so important for your brand is because people can copy all aspects of your business. They can copy your website, they can copy your colors, your pricing, your packaging, your messaging. People can copy all of that stuff that you put out there. But the one thing that nobody can copy is you and your personality and your unfair advantage. And if they try to, they certainly won't be able to uphold it. So that's why this is so different. We're not in high school anymore. This is not about fitting in. This is all about standing out and really publicly announcing and standing for your unfair advantage. So people know she is the only one I want to work with. Um, Let me see. Okay, next. How do you want your brand to be perceived? This is really important because your brand is your brand identity and your personality that you put out into the world. It's your perceived value by others. So you get to set the tone for that if you really spend time building clarity around your brand. So, this comes through photos, this comes through little tiny accents in what you wear when you show up on even social media photos or going to events, who you showcase yourself with. Write out all of those characteristics of what you want your brand and how you want your brand to be perceived and built off of. And there are all of these different ways that that can be put out um, and really signified in the world, from your website through color theory, from in your website and your brand colors through if you're a Christian, wearing a cross necklace, really letting people know subtly where your faith is. There are all of these little cues that you can give that allow people to know immediately when they see you show up in your copy and your messaging and your website, any brand elements or your photos, that they know almost immediately the important things that you stand for, and how they're going to experience you. And then, actually, the reason why you want this to be so aligned and right on is because it's fulfilling a promise, right? We've all experienced people that put a perceived value out into the world and we were impressed by it. And we were like, wow, this person really stands for this or that. And then we get on a call with them, we meet them, and it's the exact opposite. And nothing is more trust breaking than that type of circumstance. So, so it seems like duh, and I did a speaking engagement recently and I asked my mentor, one of my mentors at the last minute, just give me some quick advice. And he was like, deliver on your promise. And I was kind of like, yeah, of course. But then I thought about it and I thought about all the calls that I've been on where someone didn't deliver on their promise or didn't come through with what they actually said they were going to do or didn't show up on the call, how they show up in their brand. And immediately it breaks trust. Immediately it will set a tone that you might never do business with that person. First impressions really are quite amazing, but first impressions can also be broken very easily if you don't actually show up as that person everywhere you go. Okay, brand messaging. So, creating a brand message that lands is really fun. It's also very important. Um, Let me see. Here are some aspects. I'm just pulling up my notes. Here are some aspects of brand messaging that lands. Hold on one second. I'm gonna pull this up. You can see I really wanted this to be very personal, very um workshopy, very casual. That's just who I am. I just want everything to be based on honesty and good value. Okay. I'm gonna run through these quickly. Um, Number one, creating a brand message that lands. Know your audience. So this we've already kind of spelled out, and so understanding your ideal clients inside and out, what their pain points are, what their desires are, what their fears are, how you can most help them, what they're most looking for, not what you think they need, but what they are most looking for. Know your audience and know where they are. So, what platforms, what groups they're in, that's an important piece too. But knowing your audience will help you create a brand message that really lands with them because then you'll know how to speak to them. Number two is define your unique value proposition. This is your UVP. This is what sets your brand apart from your competitors, right? This also includes your unfair advantage. We've already talked about this. So you see why the brand messaging comes now after I've had you do all of this other work. It's because you use all of this work to create your brand message that lands. So knowing the unique benefits, solutions, whether they're products or services to your specific target audience will create messaging that really lands with them and converts. Number three is craft a clear and compelling message, which is exactly what your brand message is. It should be concise, it should be clear, it should be compelling. You should focus on what the benefit is that your client, your ideal client, is going to get in that messaging and make it simple. You can ask people to review it. Like, what does this tell you? And really be open to their feedback. People are going to see your brand message in different ways. Number four is create an emotional connection. So people purchase off of know, like, and trust, but they also purchase off of an emotional connection that they feel like they have with you and your brand. People follow people on social media. People don't typically follow companies. It's mostly people and their personalities and their entertainment value and their value and content that they give. That's what people follow. So, really create a sense of belonging and in that emotional connection that you create with your clients. This is where your pillars come in too. Really get them to relate to you, get them to open their hearts to you. I've had so many clients that booked with me say, can I meet Cooper, my dog, when I come and do the photo shoot with you? Because he's one of my brand pillars. So everyone got to know him. He's He's pretty famous and he doesn't even have an Instagram account. But because I talk about him so much, people online have watched him grow up and it's been really beautiful. And anytime I post about him, people are like, "Oh my God, he's getting so big." And they just love that. So that is creating one of the emotional connections for me and my brand. And it means everything to me. Number five is be authentic. So authenticity is the key to building trust and credibility with your audience, no matter what. You just being you is beautiful because you don't have to remember who you were yesterday if you really focus on being yourself all the time. Consistency is key. We talked about this earlier. It's pretty crucial across all of your communication channels, your website, your social media, everything, your advertising and your marketing, everything within your brand being consistent really is super very important. You don't want when someone goes to your social media to find a very different person than when they go to your website and all over the board, or meet you at a speaking event and you're on stage and you show up completely different than how you show up online in a static way, meaning photos and messaging and copy. Um, and the last one is test and iterate. So really craft a brand message that lands is important by just testing it out. Say it to people, get it out of your mouth, use different variations of it, see which one really elicits more curiosity being thrown back at you, because you want to say what you do in a way that's clear but creates more curiosity, and you always want the response, "How do I learn more about that?" So you don't want to be too vague, but you want to be clear enough that people know, but they're curious as to how you do it. And that's where your authenticity comes in. Okay, I'm going to take a quick pause and see if anyone here has any questions. Let's see. You can either raise your hand or go into the chat. I'm giving a lot of information back to back, so I just want to make sure. Okay, great. Let me see. One of people ask me all the time, how do you know what to say on social media? How do you know what to say in your content all of the time? How do you share from your heart and from a personal experience and get business from that? Well, number one, you're creating that relatability. So people hire those they know, like, and trust. So if you're creating a strong emotional connection through relatability, like I had mentioned with my dog, if one of my clients loves art and music, and she sings opera, so that creates a lot of relatability with people that love the same interests. But one of the best ways, one of the biggest marketing messaging secrets you can use is called seeding. So, what you do is when you're talking about something personal, or you could be talking about something professional, you seed your edification in that. So, you can talk about your client base. Well, one time with a client, or this is how I talk to my clients, or this is exactly what I train my clients on, what I just experienced. So, really relaying a message, especially on social media, where you're walking your talk and you edify it by saying, "This is exactly what happens to my clients, and I found myself in the same scenario. Here's what I did." So, you seed how you work with clients and who you work with through your conversation is the biggest secret, the best way. You can do this on stage. You can do this. I've done this in panels on stage where I've been a part of a panel. And I'm like, well, this one client, storytelling really lands with people, but it also edifies you. It allows you to share how you work with people, who you work with. And it makes a huge impact because people remember those, especially if you're in a story format. Okay, next. Sites that you love, websites that you love, and why you love them. This is a big exercise that I have my clients do. We typically do it together, and we look at all the websites And then we find the similar components. We talk about why they love that website, why it lands for them, because things that we're attracted to are things that we should create. So that becomes our style. So there are similarities typically with my clients when they're like, I love these 5 websites, and here are all the different reasons why. But there's typically probably at least 3 similarities that all of those websites have. And once I point that out to them, I'm like, well, there's a lot of integrity with this brand and that brand and this brand. And look at the colors. Like they're all grounded in like this blue color. So that must be a safe color for you. Let's use that for you because your clients that you're going to attract are going to have same interests and core values. Um, there's typically messaging or the layout of the website might be in a way that they're all very similar. And I help my clients see the similarities so that we can build out their brand from a very clear viewpoint of what they love, because when you do that, you don't crave to change it in 6 months. You love your branding so much, it becomes the foundation of that represents you in your business, that you just love it forever. It's almost hard to change after that. But, we do need to flow with the times and how your business adjusts. Um, so that's the next one. Um, one of the last ones before we get to style is your freebie or your lead generation tool. This is something I help all of my clients develop because it is an important tool that you need almost immediately when you're building your business and your brand, because you need some sort of desirable way to add value to your ideal clients that you come across and people that you come across, so that you can exchange that value for their contact information. So your email list is gold. It's like so gold because you're pulling in and you're attracting people that have the same interests, goals, that are so interested in your content, that really want to, receive information and value from you. And it's just a beautiful exchange, because then you have an email list full of people who all like the same things and they all want to learn from you. And it makes it so much more fun to share your brilliance in the world when you have a full following and email list of people who really adore you and love the content that you put out and love hearing from you and learning from you or working with you. So, having a freebie that you can use as a lead generation tool that's desirable to your ideal client is so key. And you need something like that in order to go and speak and be interviewed on podcasts or go on stage. You need this tool to really attract people in and build that connection, because they need to be nurtured. You get to share who you are through your email with people. You get to give value and give tips and hacks, and you know, they get the benefit of, the value that you give in your newsletter that maybe you don't give anywhere else. And you get the value of really like talking to people that want to hear from you. Okay. Let's go into style. Um, I do have quite a bit to say about this. Oh, you know what I forgot? Let me go into mistakes that people make about their brand. And I'm going to go through this really quickly, but this is important. I just did a talk on this. But I think that it's worth mentioning and repeating really quickly here. So these are mistakes that people make in their brand that you don't want to make. Number one is thinking your brand. I'm looking at my notes here, so I keep myself in line. Thinking your brand are your brand elements. So your brand elements are your website, your logo, your colors, even your photography is your brand element. But your brand is actually your essence, your voice, your persona, and your identity. I think hopefully I made that pretty clear with everything that I've shared so far. but people need to know who you are and what you do, obviously. All business is built on relationships, the basis of relationships. All relationships are built on connection and trust. So, really, your brand needs to exemplify your persona and identity in such a strong way that people create a connection and trust with you. Um, Let me see. The next one is, I'm just going over these quickly. So I'm kind of skipping through some information. Thinking you can delegate your brand and message and voice of your brand to other people. You can delegate a lot of your professional work, but you actually need to show up in your brand. Um, the that people who follow you need to see you, and they need to see the most authentic part of you. I'll give you an example. One of my clients that I do brand marketing um, for, we were on a team call and they were having difficulty in a launch that they were in. They were having difficulty closing, and they don't typically have this issue. And I told them, I don't think that you guys are showing up enough. Everyone wants you. They want more of you. So what if you did this call? I gave them some strategic coaching for a certain group of people. And afterward, they were like, oh my God, we sold 3 people at 15,000 each. That was a $45,000 idea. So these are the types of things that you can't delegate out. And when you don't delegate them out, you convert so much more because your people want you. Um, and they know when you're not showing up in your brand. And they typically know when someone else is writing all of your stuff. So if you're the foundation of the writing, you can hire a copywriter and have a great experience that way. But you need to show up. Okay. Number 3, thinking you should be someone that you're not. So if you love how someone is showing up in the world, and they might even be in the same industry and it's working for them, the reason why it's working for them is because they are authentically being themselves. So if you try to copy them, and you can copy strategies, you can swipe the foundation of an email that you really love, and oh, I love how this flows. Let me fill in all my own information into this flow. You can swipe things like that, but you need to be you. Otherwise, it won't convert. You won't create connection and trust. Um, okay, branding yourself for where you are and not for where you're going. This is a problem that people make because they brand themselves for where they are, but the fact of the matter is we're entrepreneurs. We're always expanding, we're always growing. So you need to create a brand based off of a bigger vision so that you make it easy for people to hire you. Let's say you want to work with corporations, but you look like this sole proprietor. Well, you need to have a corporate look. You need to have the super professional, buttoned up look in order to make it easy for corporations to be like, okay, we can get behind her. She looks like she would be easy to bring into our corporation. So I hope that that makes sense. Okay. I just wanted to very quickly touch on those because that is really important, and it is my goal to be of the utmost value to you guys. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear the helicopter. It's gonna give it a minute. Okay. Um, that's interesting. All right, let's talk about style. So, so we are at the hour mark. We have just a little more information. I have a lot of information to share, as you can see, and I'm so excited to be doing this. So please reach out to me and book a call with me if you want to go over, getting help, being a part of the program. I'll get back to in a minute. And really having my own personal help and attention on running you through how to build out your brand on your own, because it does include a complete, your everyday signature style blueprint. So a few key things that I tell my clients and guide them through on style. Number one is something that no one really thinks about, but my clients who say, I don't really have style, I don't really know what my style is, I don't really know what looks good on me or what I like. most cases, almost 100% of those cases of those clients don't have a full length mirror. So they're not interested in seeing how things fit them. They're not interested in seeing what they look like in a full length, a full outfit. It says a lot about you. So you really need to know. So the first thing I have my clients do is if they don't have a full length mirror, I have them go buy one. Um, it's huge because you're subconsciously ignoring what you look like and you're refusing to really dive into a style becoming a part of your brand. Number two is knowing your magnetic colors. So I love this. There are a few hacks that you can figure out. You don't have to spend thousands if you don't want to or don't have the money to go and hire a color theorist, right? But what you can do is take a full length mirror, one of those IKEA ones that's not attached to the wall, lean it up against a window so you get window light on you. That's the best way to see yourself. And so lean it up against the window and take different colors, different tops, pants. You just need the color. Take different colors and hold it up to your face. Look away and look back at the mirror and notice if your face, if your eyes and your vision go directly to you in the mirror, that's a magnetic color for you. If you find that your eye wants to leave the mirror and go outside, that's not a color that's pulling energy to you. You may not want to wear that color at all, or you definitely do not want to wear that color if you go to events or speak on stage or wear it in photos. Because it won't be a magnetic color for you, meaning the energy that you're trying to attract actually notices you. Um, Number two is having someone take a full length photo of you facing window light so you have good light. Um, if you do it outside, it's typically too bright and it's really hard to manage the light. So I like to do this where you're facing a window. If you have a floor to ceiling window, or like right here, I'm outside in a screened in patio. So there's great light. I don't even have a light on me. I'm just using the natural light. Um, but take a full length photo so you can also see, you can look away and look again. Am I energetically pulling and attracting the eye to my face? Um, Number three is pay attention to compliments. So people typically compliment you when you wear certain colors. So pay attention to compliments you get. It's probably because the color you're wearing is magnetic and pulling energy in everyone's eye to you. So those are three great ways to know your magnetic colors. Number three on style is making a note of what you feel good in. So there are a few different reasons why this is important. Number one is you want to make sure you build your brand style off of things that really feel good when you wear them. You walk out of the house and you feel like $1,000,000 and you feel confident and beautiful, like you can tackle the world. That's the essence that you want to convey. That's your true highest self essence. So that's what we're going for when we talk about your signature everyday style. It doesn't have to be something fancy. It doesn't have to be something super high level, but it needs to be aligned with you so that when you wear your clothing and your signature style, there are different ways to translate it, but it relays that confidence and that beauty and that essence of, once again, magnetism to you, and you stand out in every room that you go into. Um, so having someone take a full length picture of you facing a window is also one of the keys to this tip. You want it to be full body. You want to really note, is it the color that is creating this magnetic quality that you love? Is it the style? Is it the way your body looks in the style? You want to be aware of every aspect. Like, what is it exactly that makes you feel so confident in it? One of the things that you want to be careful of that I find with some of my clients is they love something because it sparks a memory for them, or it reminds them of someone who's maybe passed that they loved thinking about and loved very much. And you want to be sure that your signature everyday style doesn't include pieces of clothing that just remind you of someone, because you want to wear pieces that really exemplify who you are now, not who you were at some point. So it could give people the wrong opinion about your brand if you're not aware of that. So I like to remind my clients to just be aware, and when I'm working with them one-on-one, which we can do if you want to work with me in the package that I mentioned. um, we literally go into your closet and I have you pull and you're on the laptop, and it's so much fun. And we'll choose your signature jean cut and legging for you, just, your go-to, so that you don't feel like a schlump, so that you don't feel like I don't know what to wear when I leave the house. I help my clients figure out every part of their style. I call them levels. So every level of their style, like what's your favorite Saturday outfit to run errands? What's your favorite outfit to have lunch with the girls on the weekend? What's your favorite going out outfit? What's your favorite outfit that you would go on a stage with? What's your favorite outfit that you would go to an event wearing? So I help my clients create the foundation of all the different levels of their style so that they have that signature style for their everyday. Um, and typically it's everything in your closet already. I rarely have my clients buy all new things. Not that that doesn't happen. But sometimes it's just not needed. And I think everyone thinks, oh, if I hire a stylist, I'm gonna have to go buy new things. And that's not always the case. Well, not with me anyway. Um, but okay, so number 4, getting the fit that fits you best is best. So I have a lot of clients who are fuller, who feel overweight, and I completely get that. But when those clients wear things to hide their weight, they're usually too big on them and they're adding up to 15 pounds on the look of their size, as opposed to just showcasing your waist. And wearing something that's properly fitted actually makes you look smaller and skinnier. And my clients get to see that when I work with them and do their style and then take their photos. So it's something that I like to talk about when I'm working with style for other people. Um, okay, so that's all I'm going to touch on for style. I just want to open it up. Is there any questions from anyone who's joining live around style? Did I glaze over things too quickly, or do you have additional questions on anything? You can raise your hand or put it in the chat. Okay. Okay, good. Not good, but like if obviously everything is clear if you don't have questions. I made a big promise to some people that signed up for this that I would go over some makeup hacks. So let me talk about the offer and the program one more time so that any men on here are listening to the recording doesn't have to sit through makeup hacks and can go after I talk about this program one more time. Um, so let me share the screen with you really quickly, and then I'll get into the makeup hacks. I've got so many, but I narrowed them down to a few really important and easy makeup hacks that I love to share with my clients. Okay, so this program um, is the fundamentals of a 6-figure plus brand. So as you can see, we will dive into every piece of your brand and actually build it out together. This is a group program, but I'm keeping it only up to 10 people max so that I can get very individual attention. There are 2 very individual custom one-on-one ways for you to work with me through this program. And number 1 is an initial intake session with me. So this is just you and me on a Zoom. You can invite your team too. but just not in the group format, but you and me, your business alone for before kicking off the first class so that I can get to know where you're at, where you're going. We can create some goals. We can talk about what's needed. That way, as the group develops, I know individually what all of you are looking for and needing, and I can build out the program to be even more customized as we go. The second way to work with me one-on-one that's included with this program is, sorry, there's actually three. The second way is doing a specific brand style clothing and makeup session with you. So this is where we're going to get on Zoom. I have a very simple layout. You literally take your phone or your laptop into your closet. I have you pull things, we laugh, we joke, create signature styles with everything that's in your closet. I suggest things. And then after that, I create a style sheet for you. And basically, what I do is I go to Google Images and Pinterest and I create a style sheet based off of the different levels of your everyday signature style. And it's not usually, it's based off of your size too. So I have some fuller clients who will send me pictures of something that they want to purchase for a photo shoot, but it's this skinny model wearing it. And I'm like, let's look at clothes if we're shopping online, let's look at clothes that are people closer to your size wearing so that we can really get a good idea of like I can show you what fit is going to look best on you and is going to make you look smaller if you want to look smaller, or is going to really exaggerate and promote a specific body part that you love about yourself, right? So it's all about fit. It's about customizing the different levels of your personal signature style. And I forgot the third way for one-on-one work with me that's already included in this program is the free headshots. If we're in the same place together, happy to give you a free headshot session, or we can plan out a VIP shoot and you get $500 off a half VIP or $1,000 off of a full VIP shoot. The other things we will be building out in this program is we're going to be identifying and building out your full brand personality and identity. We're going to really nail down your brand messaging and content creation. And this includes using testimonials and client feedback in your messaging. I'm going to teach you how to do that so that it feels natural every time you go to post or do marketing. We're going to do your specific brand marketing blueprint, what platforms to be on most, how to relay messaging from your brand on those platforms. The individual personal brand everyday style we already talked about. We're going to go through fundamentals of what you need to know now for your brand versus where you're going and where you're building out. Those are big differences, but you can have it happen seamlessly. Or if you're now transitioning your brand into something different, that will be included in this program. I already mentioned the headshots or the discounts on the VIP photo shoot. Plus, we're going to be talking about pricing and packages, promos, freebie, lead gen ideas, and tools, as well as sales and objections. I'm very good at sales. And one of the reasons why is because I'm so certain with the value that I have to give in my brilliance space, matching what my clients are looking for, potential clients are looking for. But what I really love to do is objection-based sales so that we can tackle the objections that your customers and clients might have before they actually bring them up, which gives them the most information, really supports them in the sales call, and also eliminates some of their fears and creates more trust for them with you in the sales call. Okay. And all of this is for either $700 a month for 3 months, 3-month program, or a pay in full of $1,700, which saves you $400. So, like I said, shoot me an email, Nikki, NIKKIINCANDELA @gmail.com. if you would like to talk about if you're a good fit for this program or if you have more questions around it. I would love to share and support you in answering any questions that you might have. Okay, let's get into some makeup. Number one, you can see that I've had a full day. I've been driving, I've been in meetings. I didn't really properly prepare my hair and makeup, but there are two things that I love that get rid of shine. So, number one, and I don't have affiliates with any of these products. So, I apologize. You're probably just going to have to go to the company or Amazon to purchase them or Sephora. Number one is this Il Maquillage. So this Il Maquillage, it's called the No Filter Poreless Base. I'm obsessed with this. So this, I have very large pores. I don't really have, I've always had challenges with my skin. I don't really have a smooth complexion, but this really helps with smoothing out my complexion, creating a base for my foundation, which then takes the redness and the blotchiness. The foundation takes the redness and blotchiness and smooths and evens that out. But this actually smooths out my large pores and takes shine away. Now, what I use for another shine is this Mally. This is called the Face Defender. So this one comes with, this is good for men actually. I have my male clients buy this because it's a little travel size. It comes with um, oh my gosh, I can't think, a little sponge. And then you just dip it in and then you just blot on your face. So I use this midday, end of day, or if I'm still feeling shiny after I do my makeup, I just blot my T-zone with this Mally Face Defender. I'm going to ask Heidi has a question. Oh, okay. How do you spell the makeup? It's okay. So this one is ILMAKIAGE, Il Maquillage. IL and then MAKIAGE. And then Mally is MALLY. So Mally Face Defender and Il Maquillage No Filter Poreless Primer Base. Okay. One of the most important things with makeup, if you're doing just a quick look, is concealer. So I'm a little bit older. I don't really love um, liquid concealer. It just completely goes into my pores and in my fine lines, and um, really seems to make them more obvious. So what I love is this is by Jones Road and it's a concealer stick. So they have tons of colors. You kind of have to guess the color online, but I think that they have a good return policy. So if you have the wrong color, so typically with concealer, when you want to hide things, you want it to be a slight shade lighter than your skin tone. So I have super blotchy skin. I get redness in all these different areas and it just is distracting to look at. So I like to create a clean canvas with my makeup. I like the most natural makeup I can get, but I do have red blotchiness on my skin. So I do have to use this, but I do love the stick. And here's a little hack. If you want to appear like you have fuller lips, I love this little hack. So I have used it down to the nub. I have this Jones Road concealer stick in a color made for an African American. So this is made for dark brown skin. And I got this to do contouring. But what I love about this is I take this little dark stick and I go like this with my lip and I put it like just under my lip. That way, when it folds back down, it looks fuller. So this is a huge hack if you want to have instant fuller lips. And then the other piece to this is taking a highlighter type of lip gloss and making sure you really highlight the top peaks and outline of the top lip. So instantly, if you do these two small little tricks, it'll give you fuller lips, which is great because if you're speaking, like here I am on a Zoom training, right? If you're doing a virtual speaking, you want for people to notice your eyes and your lips. You want them to be paying attention to what you're saying and not distracted by your look. So if you want to create a slightly fuller lip, those are instant hacks to do so. The other thing that I'm obsessed with, if you get bags under your eyes, um, this is a miracle. This is called Westmore Beauty. So Westmore, Westmore Beauty. And this is called the 60-second eye effects. So what you do is you kind of like shake it up a little bit. You put a little pea-size amount. I do it on my ring finger and then I smush them together and then I pat it in all under my eye. I do each side. I kind of smooth it in under each eye and then I go back in and I pat it in place. What you want to make sure of with this, what I've noticed, it takes a few rounds of like getting used to like how much and how to do your style. But what I've noticed is you want to make it look like it's not even there. And because if it looks like it's there, it's going to dry like that. So then you take like a piece of paper, a little fan, and you fan your under eye. Don't make any facial expressions. You fan your under eyes for like almost a minute. And I'm not even telling you, like this gets rid of your under eye bags instantly. And it's nude. So it lightens the area. It is fantastic, but you want that to really dry fully and you want to put it on before any products. So what I typically do in my routine is I wash my face, dry it very well. I put this on first in the morning and then I go in and put my other products on, avoiding completely the area that I used this on. Because once it gets wet, it's going to like stop working. So it's going to go back to not firming that area. Another awesome product that I'm obsessed with, and this I'll use late in the day or if I'm going from day to evening. This is by Trish McAvoy. It's Trish, and then her last name is Cevoy, Trish McAvoy. So this product in this color is called Instant Eye Lift. And this is amazing if you're at the end of the day and you have to go into a late meeting, either late in the afternoon or late in the evening, or going out for dinner right after work. This is amazing. So I just dab a little bit under each eye in the dark circles area and just pat it in, and it instantly brightens your eye and makes it look like you took a nap. I love that. Let me see. I'm going to stick with eyes. So another great eye brightener is if you take like an eyeshadow brush, or sorry, an eyeshadow stick. This one is by Julep Beauty. I got it on Amazon. This is eyeshadow 101. But what I do with this is I do the inner corners of my eyes as well as the top lid, and it's a highlighter. So I will also sometimes do the top peak of my lip, giving my lips a slightly fuller look. So this is really great too to like brighten up. I use this in the morning, but I will also, if I need to like I should have used it before I got on this call. My last hack is eyebrows. So I've always had thick eyebrows. I've never had to fill my eyebrows in, but as I've gotten older, and if you've experienced this, you know, our hair thins out, right? Including our eyebrows and our eyelashes. So what I love is an eyebrow pomade. So there are great sticks out there, but I'm not really good at using those. Although I do have girlfriends who use a stick and they color their eyebrows in and it looks amazing. But this actually comes with a little brush. It's like it comes with like a little mascara brush and you can like brush, and then this little pointed side you dip in the pomade and you just fill in the area. I'm obsessed with this. So this comes in different colors. What I like to do is use a few shades lighter than what my darkest part of my hair is. Like I prefer to go lighter on my eyebrows than match the color exactly. And then I just fill it in and I brush it to kind of mimic hair strokes. Okay, those are my hacks. All right. Any more questions now that we're to the end of this brand and style build and I snuck in some makeup hacks? Nothing? Okay, I just want to thank you so much for joining me and watching this recording. I hope you got so much value out of it. I always love feedback if you want to reach out and give me any feedback, or if you want to talk about the program that I'm launching. I would love to have you in it. I'm looking for up to 10 people to fill into this program and help them build out their brand, find their signature style, maybe get some amazing photos if that's what you were looking for too. But no pressure on that. I just wanted to throw in a huge bonus so that you would have that option and you'd have a discount by taking advantage of that option. But thank you so much for listening in, and I'm so appreciative that you joined today. See you soon.